ball, finds the hole up the middle.
Steps up, goes deep left side, receiver open, counting, touchdown Titans! Takes a nice shot outside the goal box and he will break the 0-0 tie. Fantastic shot by Kenloff Solon.
Giller makes a move, a good one, opportunity here, the Bears score! The Bears strike first.
He's at the 40, he's down to the 30, the 20, 10, 5, touchdown, Jalen Bryan. Why not? What a beautiful run.
Maureen there, fights her off the puck, opportunity here, another sit, and a goal! Second chance effort for the Pioneers.
Put the icing on the cake, if you will, Mike. Let it go down and got to the outside and said good evening and good night.
Hello everybody and welcome to this presentation of high school basketball. We are live on TV 19 Sports from Mahtomedi High School as the Zephyrs are going to host the North Polars in Metro East Conference action. Take a look at the records. Mahtomedi 15-1 coming into this one. North a very good 12-5. Sam Erickson alongside John Miller to bring you all the action here this evening as we go live for the first time this season. How are you feeling, John?
Sam, I'm super excited. A Metro East matchup, and we're live. What gets better than this? It should be a great game.
Yeah, real excited for that one. And as I said, it is a Metro East matchup, so with that, we'll take a look at those standings.
Yeah, currently Mahtomedi is 8-0 in conference in the Metro East, 15-1 overall. North St. Paul is 7-1 in conference, 12-5 overall. So this is a big game for both teams. Mahtomedi to stick at the top of the Metro East, and North just to even get back into the Metro East towards the top standings.
So that's how they match up in the standings, but here's a little closer look at how they match up together here tonight.
Yeah, North has been rocky as of late. They had an 8-game win streak mid-season. Now they lost 2 of the 3. They lost to a very good Chaska team who's number 2 in the Metro West Conference, and now they're 12-5. This is their 4th game this week, so that's a big deal. These players are probably very tight. It's a lot of basketball. That's a lot of basketball that's been played, Sam. And then Mahtomedi, their only loss comes to a very good Columbia Heights team. And they only lost by 2 points on January 5th, but they need to win this game before they head into Tartan next week.
So this one got big implications for the Metro East Conference crown. But we're going to take a look, after the team matchup, we'll take a look at some of the individual statistics for some of the star players on both sides here.
Yeah, as people who follow the Metro East basketball should know all about Good News Capigal. He's the 4A points leader. He's second place with 21.4 points per game. North relies on this guy to do it all. He is the backbone of this team. This guy makes all the threes. He can even throw down some dunks. North's going to need him to do big things tonight in order to win this game, Sam.
Then on Mahtomedi's side, saw a quick look at him there. That would be number 23, Parker Fox, the player that we're going to look at for the Zephyrs.
Yeah, Parker Fox, just like Good News Capigal, he is the star for Mahtomedi. He's currently averaging 23.8 points per game. The 6'8" forward senior is absolutely the backbone of this team, just like Good News Capigal is. As I said earlier, this is a great matchup to watch between these two, as it's going to come down to which player can do more for their team. I know Parker Fox has a little bit more depth on his team, and Good News' team is all about him. So it should come down to if Good News can match up against this Mahtomedi team.
This game, not only going to be big in terms of shaping up the Metro East Conference crown, but also looking ahead to the postseason and those section standings. Take a look at 4A first. That's where North is.
Yeah, in the 4A, North is currently sitting in the middle of the pack, so the playoffs started today. They would play a very good Eastridge team. They're kind of having a down year. They're 3-2 in their section, 12-5 overall. But nonetheless, Eastridge always has some great players, and that will definitely be a good matchup if that does come to fruition.
Then over in Mahtomedi's section, the 4-3A.
Yeah, we'll take a look at 4-3A. Mahtomedi currently at the top. As we talked about, they lost to that very good Columbia Heights team that's right behind them in the 4-3A standings. So they they'll definitely be a good team to watch, and they should. I'm not going to say they should, Sam, but they should be up there for the state championship in 3A.
Yeah, definitely ranked, I believe, number 3, number 4, depending on the rankings you're looking at right now in Class 3A. You saw Columbia Heights. You mentioned they beat Mahtomedi earlier in the year, and then Totino Grace was actually ranked 3rd in that section standing. That team is ranked in the top 10 of Class 3A as well, playing in a very good conference with a lot of 4A schools. Kind of like this Mahtomedi team. As they're a 3A school, the Zephyrs are. They're going against 4A opponent North, albeit a conference opponent here in the Metro East, and we are ready to tip it off. Tip gets past Caleb Siekmeyer, and Bryce Phillips has the ball for North to start things off.
Yeah, you saw the tip-off come between our two players to watch. Let's get this started, Sam.
And it looks like to start that Fox will not D up. Capegel here on the opening possession. There's Gary Dixon with it. He'll bounce it over to Phillips. Phillips up top to Capegel. He lets it go. Clanks off the front iron, and the rebound goes to Andy Voyen.
Yeah, nice shot there by Capegel. Unfortunately, he's going to need to make more. He's going to need to make those shots in order for North to stay in this game.
Yeah, good look for number 1. Usually knocks that down.
He just rimmed out right there. I'm sure he'll make a few tonight.
Underneath the basket, up and fouled Parker Fox with his first action here. As we are live this February 3rd, Friday night. Got some Friday night high school hoops for you here on TV19 Sports. And don't forget to tweet at us at SamTV19, at JohnTV19, at TV19 Sports. Let us know you're out there watching. We're so happy you could join us here live on Friday night. Fox just short on that first free throw.
Yeah, that's a great job by Parker Fox. Down low, he's getting hacked, and he goes up with the shot, puts him at the line for 2. Unfortunately, misses the first one.
And gets the second one to rattle in. So Mahtomedi first on the board here with a 1-0 lead. Good atmosphere inside the gymnasium here tonight, as always. Gary Dixon from 3. That one hits the back iron but drops in. And North now with the 3-1 lead.
Yeah, great open shot there for Gary Dixon. He just puts it away. I mean, North is going to need players to step up today. We saw it with in the Tartan game. They had some players like Gary Dixon and Bryce Phillips step up in the first half, and then the second half they just totally disappeared. And then good news, they got into foul trouble, and unfortunately they got down by too much in order to come back. But they need these players to step up for both halves tonight.
Fox nearly tripping over the inbound line, trying to throw it in. And a bit of a wild pass underneath the basket. It'll be a turnover for the Zephyrs.
Yeah, who knew Andy Voyen had such a gun? I thought it was the quarterback from Mahtomedi that had a gun. He was just catching the passes.
Yeah. Maybe emergency quarterback situations, flea flickers. Although his time for Mahtomedi football is done, unfortunately for Zephyr fans. Steckler from the corner as the threes raining early here for North. Rebound by Jaquaz Towns. That's missed, and Parker Fox with the board.
Nice chance for second chance points right there for North, and they really got to make those shots.
It looks like Lincoln Rock just caught the ball out of bounds there.
Another little bit of an errant pass for Mahtomedi. You know, we saw them earlier this year when they played Simley. They started off very slow. I think they're more of a, you know, after the first half of the first half, they start to really get going.
There's a foul. We'll see if that one goes against Siekmeyer. Will Tuttle in there as well.
Yeah, although you know where North's going to go with the ball, Good News Capegel is still very tough to guard. He averages about 20 points a game. In his last 3 games, he's put up almost 20 points in every single one of them. So I'm going to guess tonight he puts up about 20, 22 points.
Yeah, we talked about it before the game. Last year, Mahtomedi 0-2 against this North team. Good North team went to the state tournament, but in the last game of the regular season was actually played here between these two teams. Good News only held to 2 points in that one. North still able to get the win. But as we've talked about this year, the Pullers losing a lot of players from last year.
Yeah, they lost a lot of players, and unfortunately they're a one-man team. I mean, they do have some nice pieces, but they're not good enough to beat some better teams like we saw against Tartan. We'll see if they can match up tonight against Mahtomedi.
And a couple misses there from Good News at the free throw line. Keeps it a 3-1 game.
Yeah, it's very, very unlike Good News right there. That's very surprising. And once again, another errant pass from Mahtomedi. North needs to score on these drives. You know, Mahtomedi's turning over the ball, get the ball back down on the other side of the court, score some points.
You talked about how Mahtomedi started slow in the game that we did against Simley. Ended up winning that one pretty handily by at least 15. Didn't play a very good game. You know, even second half they obviously opened it up, but probably not their best game, they would say. So.
Yeah, one thing to highlight is that Mahtomedi barely beat Sibley, which is one of the worst teams in the Metro East. On Tuesday, they only won by 4 points, and that's a very bad team. So
I believe a lot of points from Fox in that one as well, kind of carried the way.
He really did.
And something I noticed going into this one is Shane Frost starting the game on the bench. He's going to check in here, but started on the bench. Wonder if that maybe had something to do with the Sibley game from earlier in the week. Usually kind of their second scorer behind Fox.
Yeah, it's very rare. Normally this is the Parker Fox, Shane Frost show. You know, we had them on the show earlier this year.
And not surprised to see Frost kind of the first one off the bench though here.
Yeah, Will Tuttle also in the game. When we broadcasted the Simley game earlier this year, he barely saw the court. We saw a lot of Andy Boyan and some other guys. So he must have really stepped up and earned himself a starting job from Mahtomedi.
Yeah, Tuttle, an experienced player, senior. Bryce Phillips, nice crossover on Rock. Dishes the rock to Jaquaz Towns, who drives baseline and elevates, banks it in. Nice job by number 3.
Yeah, nice baseline move there by Jaquaz Towns, and he goes in for the readjusted layup, and he just drains it. Great move there.
Frost taking it, picks up the dribble. Doesn't have anybody. Nice no-look drop off to Lincoln Rock, who tries to find Parker Fox, but good active hands by the Polars. Fox, though, good pass to Tuttle, who converts the land and the first basket from the field for the Zephyrs.
Yeah, great job by Fox keeping it alive, and great cut by Tuttle to get open and make an easy layup.
Bryce Phillips, number 4 here for North, can handle the rock. He'll pass to Steckler. Steckler hands it off to Capedgel. Capedgel drives the lane and makes the nifty left-handed lane.
Yeah, good news, his first 2 points of the game. Nice opposite hand layup right there, and a great move. This kid's showing you why he should be one of the top players in the Metro East with Parker Fox and Jordan Horn for Tartan.
Yeah, nice hands there on defense. So after dropping that one last week to Tartan, this could be a big win here for North, as they're still sitting at that 1 loss. If they get past Mahtomedi here, it'll be a tied at the top. All 3 teams, Mahtomedi, Tartan, and North, with 1 loss.
Yeah, Mahtomedi does play North later on again this year, and you know what? I think Tartan plays North again as well.
Yeah, definitely. Fox getting that runner. We will broadcast that Tartan-Mahtomedi game next Friday.
Well, it's going to be a good one too, Sam. But as we talked about, Mahtomedi did beat Tartan, but that was without Jordan Horn, you know, the D1 recruit from Siena. So we'll see what happens this time when Jordan Horn plays.
Good job by Capedgel getting close and hitting that off the glass and getting it in.
Yeah, great back down and creating some separation there in order to get a fadeaway jump shot. Good news, already with 4 points here in the first 5 minutes.
It's a 9-5 early lead for North. Frost gets a screen. The top of the arc, tries to make something happen off the dribble, gets pretty low, dishes to Parker Fox, who throws it down and gets the foul.
Sam, he took that one to the house and one.
Not gonna lie, from where we were sitting, I thought there was no chance he was gonna get up there. And he got up there and got fouled, so good power from 23.
Just showing you some elevation and throwing it down, big man. Parker Fox, 3rd points of the game. He's going for his 5th right here.
Yeah, not only is that a big play, but that's a big bucket as well for the Zephyrs. Fox can sink a free throw here and make it a 1-point game.
Yeah, the athleticism that Fox just showed you right there is amazing.
Misses it, nearly rebounded by the Zephyrs, but squirts out to a North St. Paul player.
Yeah, Evan Reyes almost came down with the rebound. Great hands there by North St. Paul to smack it out. You got to play through. You got to grab that rebound and just, you know, come away with it, be a little more, have some strength with it. Unfortunately, Evan Reyes didn't do that.
Lonnie Thomas now with it for North, just checked in. Short jumper in the lane. That's rebounded by Parker Fox, and he takes it the other way with a full head of steam. Runner in the lane, right-handed, and that is missed.
I'll tell you what, both of these defenses are looking very weak in the middle right now. I don't know if that's because they don't have some bigger players.
Great defense from Shane Frost. He gets the block on Thomas, but a turnover from Mahtomedi. Good news, can't find it. Picked it up though, found Gary Dixon underneath.
It's gonna be a jump ball there.
Jump ball, good eyes I think there by the referee.
Yeah, I thought it was going to be really unfortunate if you called that a foul. The Mahtomedi had their hands in there. They were playing perfect defense. Great call there by the referee.
Yeah, huge block from Frost, and then a turnover by the Zephyrs. Kind of some frantic play there.
Yeah, I really thought that last drive, Lonnie Thomas was trying to do too much. He had no reason to take that shot. He had plenty of players to dish it out to in order to make an easy jump shot. You know, I feel like some of these North players feel like they have to do too much when Good News is guarded.
Frost now draws a double team, dishes it away. Yeah, I think some Polar players maybe thinking they need to step up and score because Good News is going to be, you know, double, triple team. Good back cut from Parker Fox. And there's another throwdown.
That was filthy, Sam. He's just throwing it down. Parker Fox is showing up tonight, folks.
That's a nice dunk as the dunk count gets up to 2. Let us know on Twitter if we missed any with the hashtag dunk count. Get at us. It's Parker Fox dribbling, nearly got to another one. Dishes to Boyan, who misses again. Fox there for the rebound. Mahtomedi is going to keep it. Evan Reyes got it. He got tripped, and there'll be a foul against North.
It didn't really look like a foul to me, Sam. Unfortunately, that gets called. I think that's going to go on Good News Capigal. We saw him get some chintzy fouls in the last game we broadcast, and I think that was another one.
Yeah, Zephyrs kind of bailed out there. Some frantic play.
Yeah, but great low post rebounds by Fox and Boyan there in order to get their team second chance points, and that's what it's all about.
I'm sure Boyan wishes he had that one back. He had a couple good looks there right underneath the basket. It gives it off. That one from the corner. Off and then rebounded by Brendan Langford Johnson, number 13 freshman here for North St. Paul. Josh Steckler fouled hard down here at the other end, and he's going to go to the line in what is a tie ball game here, 9-9 with just over 11 minutes left to go.
Yeah, it really looks like these teams came out to play, and I'll tell you what, Mahtomedi really focuses a lot on threes and getting Parker Fox dunks, but so far North has taken away the three-point shots from Mahtomedi.
And something, as we saw kind of in the Simley game, Mahtomedi can start to light it up from three-point range.
Great move to the bucket here. Let's see if it was hacked.
That was close. I could see that, though. Number 10, Trey Newman, didn't really hold his ground very well. Kind of stuck his arms out there, too. If he would have kept him by his side, I think maybe we could have got that call.
Yeah, Steckler goes 1 for 2 from the line. I think you're exactly right there, Sam. He plants his feet a little harder. He gets a foul. But I also think he might have been too low in the baseline.
Frost, good defense from Lonnie Thomas as Frost picked up his dribble just across half court. Boyan with it now. Tried to get it low. Good job by Steckler getting in the passing lane.
Yeah, we saw a lot of that in the Tartan game. North was able to get their hands in the passing lanes in the first half, and they're showing you again tonight against Mahtomedi. They play very good, quick defense.
So a few reserves here in for both teams. As that's freshman Langford Johnson, Brendan Langford Johnson. Nice move, 6'3" freshman. So one of a few of the future players here kind of for North St. Paul.
Yeah, it definitely showed you some good moves and made that great jump shot right there.
Parker Fox gets it low, and he gets that one no problem.
Yeah, why don't you keep feeding Parker Fox? Just keep feeding him. You don't have anybody his size on the court.
Miss in close. Steckler another rebound. Can't get the left-handed hook to go. Rebound comes out to Will Tuttle of Mahtomedi.
Yeah, Parker Fox needs to get up. He might have been fouled right there, but it's high school basketball. No time for complaints.
Newman to Fox. Fox with 9 of the Zephyrs' 11 points. Dangerous pass, but good job by Shane Frost to go get it.
Yeah, Shane Frost, very athletic. Showed you the handles a little bit earlier on one of his moves.
Tuttle with it now as Mahtomedi slows it down. There's Frost from 3, his first look, and that was a good one. And number 2 knocks it down, his first points here this evening.
Yeah, Shane Frost set a pick down low, and he shot outside to the three-point line, and he was wide open. A North player didn't roll with that pick and roll. Created the separation enough for a three-pointer. Good
hesitation from Bryce Phillips. Nice hands though by Will Tuttle as he pokes it away. Ball's going to stay with North.
Yeah, Mahtomedi on a 5-0 run right now.
Yeah, Mahtomedi with that 5-0 run is now in the lead at 14-12. 8:58 left to go here in the opening half. Steckler out to Gelving from beyond the arc. He's just short. Mahtomedi ready to run the other way. Shane Frost, big step. No call, as there was a lot of contact under the basket after the big Euro step from Shane Frost.
Yeah, I don't know how that wasn't a charge, Sam. Steckler had a perfect setup right there. Took the charge.
Referee's letting him play a little bit here.
Yeah, no call. I mean, unfortunately, he didn't make the bucket either, so kind of goes both ways for both teams in this.
Phillips with it now, trying to do something off the dribble. He'll pass to Steckler. Steckler got a good look. Somehow that didn't go down as it rattles out.
Yeah, we saw that in the Tartan game. North, unfortunately, they have the ball right in the hoop. It just won't go in.
Couple tough road games on consecutive Fridays for the Polars. They lost to Tartan last week, and then they got to come to Mahtomedi, conference leaders here this week. Frost, good head fake, and nice dime to Caleb Siegmeyer. And that's the type of offense Siegmeyer can provide for you.
Yeah, he's just a big body. You feed it to him down low, he's going to be able to produce you 2 points.
Frost going up, and I think they'll get him for the foul.
Yeah, Steckler a little more active this game. Tartan, he kind of chilled around the three-point line, but today he's driving to the basket, he's shooting threes. I think he knows he needs to step up, especially with Good News already out of the game.
Yeah, one of the top scorers here for North. Steckler averaging 8.5 a game, just behind Bryce Phillips, 10.5. Of course, Good News leading the way at over 21 points a game here for North. He's going to come back in.
Yeah, it's a second point of the night. Let's see if he can make number 3. There it is.
So Steckler good on both from the line. That will make it 16-14.
Good News is back in the game now.
Finally switched over to Frost. Frost from way beyond the arc lets it go, and it is good. Huge shot from Shane Frost. Now Will Tuttle nearly got it away.
Boy, I tell you what, Shane Frost really had to be feeling that one, because if you're a coach and your player in high school basketball takes a 3 from that deep, you better make it.
Oh, I saw head coach Keith Newman over there. He kind of held his breath when that one went up. He wasn't over celebrating the fact that it went in, as he said, but always good if you can make it when you take those shots. Capigel just with everybody all over him, can't get it to go off the glass.
Yeah, they have Good News. I think he thought he got fouled, but if he follows his rebound, or if he follows the shot, he gets that rebound and he puts it back up.
So Zephyrs with a chance now to build on their biggest lead of the evening at 19-14. Rock takes it out to Frost. Frost gets another look, and that one comes off short. Bryce Phillips with the rebound, stumbles, but keeps the dribble.
Yeah, Frost with a little heat check right there.
I thought that one might be going in. That was a pretty good look.
Yeah.
Bryce Phillips takes it. Frost gets called for the reach.
That was definitely a foul, Sam.
That's going to be number 2 on Shane Frost. We'll see what head coach Keith Newman does here, as Parker Fox is on the bench. So is Andy Voyan, and it looks like Frost is going to come out. Not sure if he was coming out anyway. Ross Towns to inbound for the Polars. He finds Capigel. Bryce Phillips from beyond the arc. That clangs off iron and is rebounded by Lincoln Rock.
I think North has shot twice as many threes tonight as they have twos. They need to get Good News the ball, first of all. I mean, they're not playing that great a defense on them.
Yeah, North not doing so great from three-point range either. Capigel falling asleep on defense again. And Will Tuttle with an easy lay-in.
That's 4 points for Tuttle tonight. North calls the timeout. They really needed that one right there. It's now a 7-point game.
Yeah, it is going to be a timeout. First one here tonight for North. It's 21-14. Mahtomedi leading, 6:11 left to go in the first half. And with that timeout, we'll take a look at North's upcoming schedule.
Yeah, you see North, they play Henry Sibley, and then they follow that up with Hastings. I see the only real problems North's going to have coming up is St. Thomas on the 16th, and then they play Tartan once again on the 21st, and then they finish the year at Mahtomedi. So they still have 4 games coming up, and they're still in the Metro East Conference standings, and they definitely have the potential to get back up there.
And Mahtomedi's upcoming schedule.
Yeah, Mahtomedi, it's going to be a tough road to the finish line. They play Tartan on TV 19 on the 10th. Me and Sam will be there for that game. We will be live for that game. And then they follow Tartan up with a good St. Thomas team on the 14th. And then they finish the year at North St. Paul. So they do have a tough test or a tough road to finish #1 in the conference. I really think it's going to be between them and Tartan, but, you know, North's not out of it, Sam.
Yeah. And that last game against North, that might be, you know, depending on how things go, that might be for the conference championship. You know, Mahtomedi might be sitting there. If they could win it, they could win it all. North might still be in it at that point if they get a victory here tonight.
Yeah, great defense there by Parker Fox.
Another bad turnover, but Dixon turns it over again. Rock with the steal and gets the layup to go.
Tell you what, Sam, I like Lincoln Brock when we watch him against Simley. The guy does all the little things right. He's a little scrappy player, good point guard. Gets his first 2 points of the night. North St. Paul needs something going on right now. They need to give the ball to Good News.
Yeah, you see Mahtomedi now looking like they're in a 2-3 zone. Miscommunication from North. They'll throw the ball away. And as we saw last Friday, this one's starting to get away from North here in the first half.
Yeah, this is getting dangerous territory, Sam. They need to do something. Good News is kind of, Mahtomedi's really shut out Good News here in the first half. I mean, he's only got 4 points. They're going to have to find drop plays to get him going.
Yeah, with that timeout, another quick timeout from North. We'll take a look at some of our upcoming broadcasts here on TV 19.
Yeah, February 7th, we have girls basketball for a very good Mahtomedi girls team against Simley. Then we follow that up with wrestling. We've been including a lot more wrestling into our TV 19 coverage. Mahtomedi versus St. Thomas. Mahtomedi's got a great wrestling team. And then on the 10th, as I said earlier, live on TV 19, we have Tartan versus Mahtomedi in a great Metro East matchup. Then we have boys hockey, Tartan versus North. And then we follow that up with girls and boys basketball, North versus Tartan on the 21st, which is going to be another great matchup, and I'm pretty sure we'll be out there again for that game as well.
Yeah, doing the reverse of that doubleheader we did last Friday. And let's not forget, coming after all that, after all your regular season action, we'll have some section tournament coverage as well. That schedule kind of yet to be determined. Got to see how things shake out and which of your Fab 5 schools will be hosting section tournament games. And as soon as we know that and know the schedule, we'll let you know here on TV 19.
Yeah, we have some very good games coming up. I know me and you are very excited. Then we'll get into sections and then the playoffs. So we have some great teams to watch and broadcast. It's going to be a treat.
Yeah, February and March, good time year here for us at TV 19 Sports.
Yeah, let's see if Mahtomedi can get a bucket. This might just
Siegmeyer turns and tries the jump shot.
Yeah, he threw that pass way too late right there. Gary Dixon needed to hit that pass about 3 seconds earlier, and he would have had Jaquaz Towns there for an easy 2.
Tuttle fakes, got some space, but Capijos closed that quickly. That throw just a little too far in front, and another turnover for North.
I'll tell you what, Good News' confidence looks rattled right now. He looks down, not playing like the player we saw in the first half last week against Tartan, or even in the second half, because he was making threes right and left, making great passes. I mean, the defense is always meh, but he's a great offensive player.
So another turnover. North has been getting some stops, but they've just been giving the ball right back. There's a 3 from Rock. That one goes in.
It's 5 points now for Lincoln Rock.
And it's now a 26-14 game.
Yeah, Langford Johnson there picking up his dribble at half court. That's a very young player move.
Lonnie Thomas, short jumper. That doesn't hit any iron. And Parker Fox gets a rebound off the backboard.
Sam, they're just not taking open shots. They're going for the contested shot almost every time.
Parker Fox with the jumper. That's too strong, almost rattled in, but rebound to North. And as you were mentioning, I don't see the confidence with the Polars, even when they're taking some of those shots.
I think their confidence a lot rides on Good News, and you know, he gets this bucket right here. Let's see if they can get it going. Good News gets his 6 points. Let's see if he can get this team boosted back up. It's still a 10-point game. They cut it down to about 8 at the half. They'll be fine.
I think something for Good News too is understanding when the opportunity is there to drive the basketball. You don't do that every time. you have to wait for those good opportunities. Took advantage of one there as nobody really stepped to him on the previous possession. Made the most of it, but good answer from Mahtomedi as they go back up 12. Andy Voyen getting on the scoreboard.
Yeah, great pass. Finding Voyen streaking down the opposite side of the court.
There's Capigio giving up. He had a couple guys open from three, didn't throw it to him, but able to make the fadeaway jumper.
That was a great move. Good News is showing you why he's one of the better players in the conference, if not the state. When he gets hot, Sam, and he's going to take it every time. He's going to create shots for himself, and he's going to score and get this team back in the game.
Lincoln Rock got open. Good off-the-ball screen by the Zephyrs. And rebound. Last touch by the Polars, so it'll stay with Mahtomedi.
Yeah, you can kind of see, you can kind of feel the confidence coming back with the Polars. Good News gets hot. You play a little tighter defense.
Yeah, it is.
Can't let him get the easy buckets. Sorry, Sam.
No, I was going to say, that is how it seems. They kind of go with how he goes. He got a couple buckets there. It seems like everybody's energy level kind of raised up a little bit.
Yeah, let's see if they can step up this defensive drive, but this has been a heck of a first half by Mahtomedi, spreading the ball around. A bunch of different guys making shots.
Parker Fox maybe forcing one a little bit there. Trip, and I think we'll have a foul, albeit on some incidental contact there from number 13, Will Tuttle.
Yeah, Good News finally gets a call to go his way.
That's going to be the 5th team foul.
Yeah, Parker Fox with a contested shot before that. Good News gets the ball back up, and they just trip over his foot. It's going to be a foul every time.
Yeah, nice job by Good News staying on his feet.
He's lucky he didn't roll an ankle or something. That looked dangerous.
Yeah, it looked like it could have been pretty nasty. So 2:45 and counting left to go here in the opening half. Zephyrs with a 10-point lead, led by as much as 12. As North kind of had the early advantage in this one, leading by 5.
That's not a shot that Lonnie Thomas needed to make. He had 4 players around him from Mahtomedi. You don't need to take that shot.
Yeah, not a lot of passing when they're in their half-court set either. They saw the pass to Thomas, then Thomas just dribbled and took a shot. Kind of saw that with the last couple of possessions, although Good News able to make those, but he kind of just took the ball and went with it.
Yeah, nice swat there by Good News, just smacking it out of the Mahtomedi shooter's hand. He had a great defense right there. Shane Frost coming back in the game. Watch out for those 3-pointers.
Yeah, Frost big when he came in. The last time hit a couple of threes, one from way beyond the arc, and narrowly missed a third. Frost gets open again. Good job on the fake. He'll pass it off, no call. Voyen eventually gets it from 3. That's off. Frost battles for the rebound, and he takes it.
Yeah, almost was an offensive foul there on Shane Frost. I don't know how that wasn't called. It looked like the North had a great set and should have been a charge, but.
You've seen so far here tonight, it looks like the refs are kind of keeping the whistles in their pockets when it comes to that charging call. That's going to be a tough call.
Ooh, that looked like Mahtomedi's ball, Sam.
Yeah, I think with the benefit of replay, we might see that. Tough angle, though, for the officials here, and a tough call. We'll take a look.
Yeah, I definitely think this went off against North. Yeah, see, the North player kicked it out right there.
I think Towns last one to touch it.
You know what? North hasn't had a lot of calls go their way tonight or last week. I kind of feel like they needed that one. Let's see if they can get 2 points out of this, or maybe even 3.
Great defense by Tuttle on Pejel. Pejel misses it short. Shows some frustration. Thomas got the ball, went out.
Sam, I don't know what Lonnie Thomas is doing. The coach needs to get him out of the game. He's trying to do too much right now.
He leaves Frost for 3. A lot of times that's a mistake, but Shane Frost just misses.
Yeah, Lonnie Thomas, if you're going to take that 3, at least square up to the bucket. You don't fade away in a 3-pointer.
Yeah, kind of forced it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's interesting. You saw Mahtomedi defense just kind of forgot about him as there was a little bit of contact between Good News and a couple players. So Thomas got a good look there, but just sort of hurried it.
It really looked like Good News got away with a offensive foul right there. He used a lot of elbow, but he didn't get called, and they needed to come away with 2 points right there.
They know that he's going to want to come into the paint, and Mahtomedi is not making it easy for him. As they're bringing some physicality when he gets in there. You got big bodies here from Mahtomedi. Voyen, who kind of plays out at the 3-point range, he's a big kid. Siekmeyer, of course, and then Parker Fox. Seen Tuttle, the guy D'ing up Good News right now.
Yeah, he's been all over Good News. Will Tuttle listed as 6'4". Nice shot there by Bryce Phillips. Bryce Phillips finally getting on the board with his first 2 points. They need to get him going. He's got some great moves. he can shoot from all over the court. I really don't know why that's his first 2 points of the game with about 17 minutes into the first half.
Yeah, I think with Phillips, a junior, he's a little streaky from the field. You know, he can really light it up, and then sometimes he takes a lot of those contested shots, you know, sometimes has to, I think, with the D that Good News is seeing.
Yeah, this North team's going to be a very good team next year, Sam, I tell you what.
And here's one of their best youngsters. That's just off for Langford Johnson.
That's a very good shot right there. Unfortunately, it didn't go their way.
Mahtomedi near turnover, and again, no call on contact. Siekmeyer rebound, great little baby hook on the turnaround. But I see you questioning how there's no call.
I was just
lot
going
of contact.
Bite my tongue on that one, Sam. Mahtomedi, I think, got away with 2 offensive fouls. Nonetheless, they come away with 2 points. North needs to score right here before the end of the half. Get Good News the ball. Let him shoot a 3.
Looks like Good News Bryce Phillips trying to set something up.
Somebody needs to set a pick for him right here.
Good News, 4 seconds now left to go in the half. Last possession, short. Rebound Tuttle. He's got time to let it go. This might count. Just off. As the buzzer sounds, that will be halftime. Your score, Mahtomedi 30, North St. Paul 20. We are going to stay with you live through halftime. An impressive first half for the Zephyrs here at home as they lead it by 10. Parker Fox leading the scoring with 9 points. And to start our halftime coverage, we'll start with the Class 3A polls. And you see Mahtomedi sitting right there at number 4.
Yeah, this is the Class 3A coaches poll. Mahtomedi sitting at number 4, as I said, against 14-1. But it goes to show you how good De La Salle is. They're sitting at 12-2. They have 1 more loss than Mahtomedi, and they're still number 1 according to the coaches. So they have a very good team. They always have a good team. But I definitely think it shows that the coaches have a lot of respect for Mahtomedi to put them at number 4. But this is a very good Class 3 conference.
Yeah, and as I mentioned, that Totino Grace team sitting at number 6 in that Mahtomedi section as well. So they got some tough competition, albeit that they're kind of looking at that number 1 seed, but they lost to the 2 seed, or who's looking to be the 2 seed Columbia Heights, and then they got that Totino Grace too, team 2. Here's some first half highlights. Highlighted by a couple big dunks for Parker Fox.
Yeah, Parker Fox just showing up to play today. Just had some great dunks, and that very athletic dunk where he stuck with it through the foul, got the and one, and that was one of the best plays I've seen live in a long time in high school basketball.
It's kind of as we saw last Friday. Leading this game, got up by as much as 5, I believe it was like 9-4. And ever since, it's been all Mahtomedi as the Zephyrs have come back to take that 10-point lead at the break.
Yeah, I really think that North, once they get down, you know, once Good News gets shut down, they don't have another player they can go to right now in order to step up. So we'll see if that'll happen in the second half.
All right, well, we'll continue to stay live here with you. We'll have that second half where when it's set to start. Mahtomedi looking good so far here this evening. We're going to send it to an interview we did with a couple stars from the Zephyr basketball team a couple weeks ago on our Sports Path program here on TV19 Sports. So hope you enjoy that interview. We will regain you with you for the start of that second half after the interview.
Doing well. Thanks for having us.
I'm doing great. I'm just going to start off. First off, Parker, why don't you tell us, when did you start playing basketball?
You know, basketball has been engraved in my family since we were young. My dad played when he was a kid. My mom played. Grandpa played. So, you know, basketball was kind of the thing always growing up. And, you know, with the little mini Tykes hoop downstairs and shooting with Dad. So, you know, starting from young and just began to love the game. So, made it where I am today.
Awesome. And Shane?
First organized basketball, I went to the YMCA basketball camps in 4th grade and stuff, but my dad was a really good basketball player in high school. His brother was a really good player, so kind of the same thing, family thing, kind of brought up into it and fell in love with the game right away.
I was going to say, Parker, you're fairly tall. I thought there might be some basketball players in your family. Any former Zephyrs in either of your families?
You know, my mom went to White Bear, so my grandparents lived there, and my dad played basketball as well. You know, he's 6'8", so, you know, we have our little competitions to see who's taller, and I'm almost there.
What are you at these days?
I'm about 6'7.5", so, you know, I'm almost there, so we kind of check every day to see if I got him yet.
Well, I wish you luck. You probably get there at one point. Get you ever closer to that rim. You know, always a good thing in basketball. And then Shane, you got any Zephyrs in your family?
Nope, just my first year here was last year, moved from Hudson. My parents both went to schools in Minnesota, so growing up in Wisconsin was a little different, but I'm here now.
I'm sure Mahtomedi is glad to have you, especially after the points you've been putting up early on in the season. Did you play any youth programs growing up in Mahtomedi or in White Bear?
Yeah, we played Mahtomedi growing up all the way. We had traveling team since 4th grade, and a lot of the guys are still on the team today. We have, I think, 6 or 7 of our 10 seniors are still on that team today that we started in 4th grade. And with Coach Newman, too, he helped, his son is on our team, Trey, so he's helped coach us on the way up, too. So we've had a group of guys that have been together for a while. And
yeah, it's kind of one of the great things about communities like Mahtomedi. A lot of times you get players at the high school level that play together even as kids and stuff like that. I know, Shane, it was a little different for you, but was last year kind of the first time you played with these guys, or did you play with them before?
Guys like Andy Voyan and Will Tuttle and obviously Parker, I played with them in summer a couple years, so my parents got to be good friends, which kind of influenced the decision to come here. But last year coming to the guys, they accepted me right away. They're all my best friends or family. Right away, there was no kind of awkwardness, there was no exclusion, so it was a really easy transition.
Yeah, another great thing about a community like Mahtomedi, you know, got very nice people, good stuff across the board. Now, Parker, I know you played in a few varsity games as a sophomore. What was it like coming onto the team as a sophomore and playing with, you know, older guys like, I know Sean Jelly was on that team, big man, and Sam Newman?
Yeah, you know, it was fun looking up to those guys, and I didn't really go in expecting to play a whole lot of varsity because I knew how deep that senior class was and how much talent they had. So, you know, just try to pick things up from those guys like Sean and Sam and Sammy Mooster and just learn more about the game. And I knew my time would come, but not to force it and just ease into it.
Nice. Now, I know last year you guys got the #1 seed in your section. Things maybe didn't end up the way you had wanted it, but going into that postseason, what were your thoughts? You know, what were kind of the goals, Shane?
I saw a state run in us. I truly believed it. We got the 1 seed. Seeds don't really matter, but, you know, we had the confidence going in. We won the games we needed to win to get that 1 seed. So state run was in my mind.
You know, you did lose that one game. What do you think happened there? Maybe a little bit of overconfidence, something like that?
You know, we definitely a confident team. We believe in abilities that we have, not only as individuals, but as a team. You know, we just didn't really play like our basketball like we normally do. You know, like you said, just when we play together, that's when we play best. When we get out in transition, when we run, we trust each other, and you know, we're all at fault for that. Sometimes we all can be. So, you know, just realizing that you're at fault and just trying to do what you can do to fix it and make teammates better.
Yeah, one of those tough things about the postseason, you know, when it can all come down to one game, you know, where you really have to be your best at all times.
Yes, sir.
Now, did that affect things going into this season? How did you approach the offseason after how things ended last year?
I think, honestly, that gave us a jump on the season. That gave us a little head start because we know what can happen. It doesn't matter if we're the 1 seed or the 8 seed. We can lose to anybody, and we can beat anybody. So we know what can happen. We know what we got to work on, and we know what the goal is, and that's a state run.
Yeah, you know, I mean, it's a learning experience, albeit a tough one, but I think it, you know, probably helps you guys out going into this year. Now, talking about this year, you know, got a real tough conference in the Metro East, a couple 4A schools with, you know, North and Tartan teams that battled it out and kind of shared a bit of that crown last year, returning a lot of good players. But where do you guys see yourselves in that Metro East Conference?
Oh, you know, like you said, North and Tartan are both 2 really good programs and have been for a long time. But we definitely see ourselves up there with them. You know, we had close games with them both last year, and they definitely returned good players, like you said. And we know all these guys, and we talk to them through social media and stuff. So we've gotten to know them, but we definitely see ourselves as not only individuals, but as a good team and coming together and hopefully getting that Metro conference championship.
Now, how do you think, you know, playing that tough conference schedule, Shane, how does that help you when you get into the postseason?
I think having those 2 big 4A schools in our conference really helps because we're not playing we have small schools in our conference, but we're not always playing small schools. So when we get to state, we got to play the schools that are best in our class. So it just really prepares us to who we got to go up against in state once we get past sections.
Well, and you have already started the season. Got a couple games under your belt. Got a win over Chisago Lake, 68-45. Beat Como Park last night, 66-59, as we mentioned earlier. Looking ahead, which games in the early part of your season do you think might be a little bit difficult?
We have a big Metro East versus Metro West conference kind of battle going on, I think December 17th, and we play Robbinsdale Cooper, so we're looking forward to that one for sure. You know, obviously games like Tartan and North in our conference are going to be fun as well.
You know, postseason will come this year. After last year, you guys got the 1 seed. It ended up being Fridley, the 6 seed, who ended up taking home that section championship. I know it's a little bit early, but how do you think that section is going to shape up? You think you guys are looking good for that number 1 seed again?
Yeah, we have confidence in our team and all the players on our team, the coaches and everything, and we have the talent, we have the ability. We just got to work hard, and if we do, there's no reason we don't get that number 1 seed again.
Yeah, it's been a while since Mahtomedi has made it to the state tournament. In fact, since 1961. I want to wish you guys a lot of good luck along the way. Any last words, any shout-outs you want to give out there?
I don't think so. Shout out to the squad.
Yeah, shout out to the squad.
Gotta
Shout out
give a shout out to
everybody,
the squad.
man.
Maybe Coach Keith Newman.
Yeah, shout out, Coach.
All right, well, thanks again to Parker Fox, Shane Frost for joining us here on Sports Path. I think it's going to be a great year for you guys. We look forward to following you here on TV 19 and catching a couple of your games. I want to thank you guys again for spending some time with us.
Mm-hmm. Thanks for having us.
So there was a look at the interview we did with a couple stars there, Parker Fox, Shane Frost of the Mahtomedi Zephyrs. We want to thank them, of course, for sitting down with us. That was a couple weeks ago. We are here live, though, tonight, here February 3rd, Friday night, for some Metro East basketball. 1 half in the books. Mahtomedi leading it by 10.
Yeah, Mahtomedi just coming out hot. Let's take a look at those Metro East standings. Mahtomedi sitting at 8-0, 15-1 overall. North sitting at 7-1, 12-5 overall. So if North can somehow manage a way to come back into this game, they will be tied at the top of the conference with Mahtomedi and Tartan, which goes to say a lot. I mean, it's a very tough conference, Sam.
Yeah, it's a tough conference last year. It's going to be a tough one this year. Mahtomedi really helped themselves out getting past Tartan. They trailed by 15 at the break in that game, came back and won it.
But let's not forget that Jordan Horn was not playing in that game, so I think it's going to be a totally different ball game. I really think whoever wins this game, honestly, Sam, is going to be second in the conference, but we'll see what happens.
Yeah, that Tartan team, a 4A school, Mahtomedi a 3A school. Tartan kind of cracking into that top 10, though, in 4A, so a very good team. As you said, kind of the team you would think would win this conference, but as we said, Mahtomedi got the win in the first game, albeit Tartan's best player not involved.
Yeah, any given day, Sam. I mean, Mahtomedi is going to show up next Friday. I'll tell you that much. But I don't know if they have the size to match up with the post players that Tartan has. I mean, you look at their point guard, Jordan Horn, he's 6'5". Like, I don't know how if you're Shane Frost even come close to guarding him.
Well, and as we saw last week, too, Tartan a tough place to play, as North did not do very well last week. Tartan winning that one big.
Yeah, North already starting off with a rough offensive foul. I think that was more of a moving screen. That's not what you want to see, especially if you're the coach for North. I don't know what's going on right now, Sam, but it's not a good way to start. And now the crowd's into it. This is dangerous.
Yeah, good crowd on hand here for Mahtomedi. Student section in full voice. Always good support for Zephyr Athletics, no matter what the sport here out at Mahtomedi.
Yeah, I think you got a Gary Dixon against Parker Fox right now. You get the ball to Parker Fox right away.
Yeah, Mahtomedi going to start out real conservative here in the second half, kind of slow things down. Thought they might do that. And with that 10-point lead, I can see them slowing it down even more.
Yeah, North playing in zone defense right now. Sorry, Sam.
Oh, no worries, John. I was just going to say they're working around, trying to break down that zone. Trying to figure out exactly what type of zone North is trying to run. And poked away, but it'll stay with Mahtomedi. It looks like the Zephyrs are trying to pop guys in and out of that high post around the free throw line to kind of work that zone.
Yeah, it's gonna be tough to get a shot in the middle of the court. Good News is sitting right there, so he's ready to go, and I think that's a great defensive strategy, and it just showed you it worked for about 30 seconds.
You got to wonder if Mahtomedi is going to do this in the half-court set. Good turn and jumper by Caleb Siegmeyer, not known for that, but he can hit it. Looked good on the jumper right there.
Yeah, Siegmeyer with a nice jump shot. He got 4 points now, but you know what they did is Good News left the middle of that zone defense, and then they fed it to the middle of the zone defense. That was very weird what happened right there.
Gary Dixon off. Down to Siegmeyer. Siegmeyer kicks it back out to Voyen. Voyen finds Fox, and Fox creeps behind the sleeping North defense. And that's another dunk for Parker Fox. Hashtag dunk count. What do you got?
3, Sam.
All right.
What a great dunk right there. What a great move to get open right down low, and nice, great pass to find him down low. That's 9 points now for Fox.
Let us know if we're right with our dunk count. Tweet at us at TV19 Sports, hashtag dunk count, Parker Fox dunk count. We got 3 right now. Is that one way off and long? And Mahtomedi is going to slow it up again.
Sam, I don't know what North's doing. They're not taking high percentage shots. They need to get back into this game. You're down by 14. You have plenty of time left. Great move by Dixon there. I don't know how that wasn't a foul.
Bryce Phillips again. We saw that all first half. Any kind of borderline charge call basically would be a no call for these referees.
Yeah, excuse me, that was Bryce Phillips.
Phillips with the ball again.
Ooh, that's very unlike Capigo right there to not take that 3.
Capigo gave it up, a couple dribbles, and then threw up a tough shot. And it's no good. It's North coming up with nothing so far here in the second half.
They cannot let this lead get any more than it is. I think if it gets more, this is game, Sam. Even with 15 minutes left, it's going to be almost impossible to come back. This North team, or this Mahtomedi team, is very deep.
Looks like North kind of going back into a man-to-man, maybe try and hurry up the Mahtomedi offense. Good dribbles from Parker Fox. Scoop layup, that's no good, no call. Up ahead to Bryce Phillips from Capigo. That one's off on the layup. Voyan with the rebound. Now he goes ahead to Parker Fox. Fox goes at it.
Block.
Capigo was there with a huge rejection. And now we got a timeout from Coach Keith Newman of Mahtomedi.
Oh man, I'm glad the ref kept the whistle off of his lips right there, because that was amazing block there by Good News Capigo. You see it right here. It comes down to 2 of the best players in the conference. Parker Fox going up for the dunk. Good News staying with it, keeps a hand in there and swats it away. That was impressive. Good News showing you why he's getting looked at by D1 schools, Sam.
Yeah, incredible length there from number 1. An excellent job kind of just staying with Parker Fox and getting the big rejection.
Yeah, we talked about how Good News last year. Good News is only averaging 11 points per game. He's really stepped up this year, averaging 21, and he's just a junior, so I think it wouldn't be out of the realm next year for him to average up in the upper 20 points per game, maybe even 30 points per game, as Simeon Rice is doing for Hill Murray with 30 points per game in the Metro East Conference.
Yeah, not easy to be that individual scorer, especially when your team's struggling a little bit. It's Good News is going to have to work through some tough times, not finding the wins as easy as they did last season, this Polar squad.
They definitely lost a lot of players.
And Capigo just let Parker Fox take that jumper. Boyd with the rebound, another miss, but no box out from North, and Will Tuttle taps it back in. And it's a 16-point lead for the Zephyrs.
Sam, let me just tell you something I've noticed. Mahtomedi, you know, Shane Frost is a heck of a player. He can score at any time, but he likes to chuck up inadvertent shots. And when Mahtomedi has him off the floor, they play more team basketball. They spread the ball around, and they get open shots every time.
They may be one of the reasons his minutes have been limited here a little bit. Coach Newman didn't start him. That one thrown way up ahead by Caleb Siekmeyer. Coming together, no call. And then they're going to say it was last touch by Parker Fox.
I think that was, it looked like the right call. I don't know, we have to get a replay on that.
Yeah, that's a tough one. But boy, there's definitely something. I think these refs got together and decided that they were going to keep their whistles in their pockets for this one. Not a lot of fouls called here.
But first of all, let's go with one thing. That was an awful pass. Oh yeah, that was definitely off Parker Fox.
Yeah, I think they did get it right there.
Ooh, he had the open 3 right there. Langford Johnson did right there.
Yeah, tough for the youngster, not knowing kind of when he should and shouldn't pull the trigger. Steckler takes a bump, throws up a shot. We'll see if he goes to the line because of that. Foul is on Siekmeyer. I believe that's going to be number 2 on number 40.
Yeah, Steckler just driving the base down low. You'll see Siekmeyer just gives him a little shove. It's going to be called every time. And I really don't know why Siekmeyer would give him that shove. He's got such a big body, a big body, big burly guy. Just stick your body out there, put your arms up. Great defense.
Yeah, and I thought he did a good job, or, you know, the Mahtomedi defense did a good job kind of working Steckler to the baseline. Didn't have a great look, obviously, as you saw the shot he got off, kind of came off the side of the backboard.
Yeah, exactly, Sam. I think you said that best.
Steckler makes the first as North finally gets on the board. with just over 13 minutes left to go here in the second half, gets their first points of the half.
Yeah, that's 5 now for Steckler. He definitely has a nice shooting stroke, especially from the line. They needed those 2 points right there, and they need to stop the bleeding. As I was talking about, Shane Frost can score from anywhere, but they play less team basketball when he's on the court.
Frost able to draw a foul there. He got it up across half court. That one went against Bryce Phillips.
These Mahtomedi players, they love the compression shorts. Love those compression shorts.
And the, I don't know what you call, like the leg protector, compression leg protector.
Probably protects it from getting skid on the court there.
Yeah. That one bounces off the rim, off the backboard, but doesn't fall for Fox. Capedgel kicks it. And North will reset things. Gelving now passes it. That's a short three-pointer from the corner. Battle for the rebound. North got it, threw it away momentarily, but gets it back.
Slow things down. Get a high percentage too. You're not out of this game yet.
Geving with it. He'll pass to Capedgel. Capedgel with a head fake, and he'll draw contact.
Sam, I really think, I know it wouldn't have been a great shot from Capedgel, but if he would have went up with that three, he would have been, even if he made it, he would have been at the free throw line. He would have got fouled easily.
Yeah, they were closing on him quick.
Yeah, the defender from Mahtomedi came up a little reckless.
So 36-22, Mahtomedi leading here. 12.5 minutes left to go in the game. Capedgel, and good no call, I think, there from the referees. Maybe could have been a jump ball, but I don't think there was any foul.
Sam, these refs have been very, very good tonight, keeping the whistles in their mouth, because that was all ball there. Nice block by Parker Fox.
Which is got to be difficult for North. There's a big difference from their game last week. Shane Frost, huge bucket, but hurt himself.
I think he got hit where you would not want to get hit, Sam.
Yeah, I thought he was holding his wrist there for a second, but I think you're right, John. Langford Johnson hits a three, and then I think head coach Keith Newman's going to take a timeout, maybe give Shane Frost a breather.
Yeah, let's see what just did happen to Shane Frost here. He had a nice look at the bucket. I think that was a good no foul there by the ref.
Bryce Phillips closing out as Frost is throwing him up from three-point range.
Yeah, it was a great no call there. That was good defense. I think he just landed where you wouldn't want to land on Good News Capeagle's knee.
Yeah, exactly. Somebody had a leg kicked out there a little bit. Good shot from our camera crew.
Yeah, I tell you what,
I'm sure
Sam,
Shane Frost will appreciate that.
Yeah.
Sorry, John.
I tell you what, I had that happen to me when I was in middle school basketball. It was probably one of the worst things I've ever felt.
Well, I'm a former baseball player.
Oh, yeah.
I know the dangers of that area all too well. Luckily for us in baseball, they give us protection. All right, well, after that insight, we're ready to regain action here. Mahtomedi leading now by 13. Big three-pointer by the Polars.
Yeah, North going with the full court defense. They needed to do this, and it was a good time.
Yeah, I thought they might bust that out after Mahtomedi really slowed things down. But North defense caught sleeping again as Boyan able to get wide open under the basket. We've seen that back cut. Parker Fox did that a few times. Other players. And another turnover from the Polars. Shane Frost going to take this one the whole way. Gets fouled and gets the land.
It's 8 points now for Shane Frost. He must have not been hit where he wouldn't want to have been hit too hard, Sam. Must have been more of the leg. So he comes back and gets a nice and one.
Excellent play from Shane Frost.
Nice. That was great. We see Shane Frost is amped up. Gotta love that.
Oh, number 2, definitely a fan favorite here, Mahtomedi.
I know he's one of our favorites, Sam.
Oh, for sure. Gotta love the hair. One of the best hairdos out there in the Metro basketball, I would say. I want to know if we're going to get playoff braids from Shane Frost. There's a huge play as we get back to action. Josh Steckler with the three-pointer and fouled. As we're probably going to see North throw up a lot more three-pointers as they try to get back into it.
Yeah, that's 8 points now for Steckler. He gets the and one on the three. But the hair thing, Sam, I think everybody has their own opinions on that one.
Yeah. I'll give him points for being unique.
As unique, I'll give it that.
But I want to see the playoff braids. Maybe we'll send him a tweet. Maybe I'll get some of our TV19 fans, some Mahtomedi fans to get out there and tweet at Shane Frost. Let's see some braids.
Yeah, Steckler needed that three. Let's see if North can get something going. Unfortunately, Good News is out. He looked like he was Oh my gosh.
And I think that was by design. Nice job. Will Tuttle knew that Parker Fox was going to be trailing there. Nobody was with him, and I don't know what is up with this North defense. They're just falling asleep all over the place, leaving people unoccupied. I'm not sure if they're switching up defenses between zone and man-to-man so much that, sometimes players aren't sure what they're in.
Yeah, I'm not sure, Sam, but whatever is going on, Mahtomedi is just attacking the rim, and they're finding ways to get good drives to the basket. Parker Fox just showing you why he's one of the best players in conference, and he definitely can dunk the basketball, Sam. I think that's an understatement.
And what is that dunk count at now, John?
4, Sam. We're at 4 dunks here.
That is 4. Hashtag dunk count. Let us know if we're on the money. I want to thank you once again, TV19 viewers, for joining us here live February 3rd. Our first live event of the 2017 season.
Yeah, I was super amped up for this game, Sam, and I really thought it was going to be a lot closer, and this is disappointing to say the least. Well, that North has a heck of a basketball team, but they definitely have a lot of flaws in their defensive side of the game and offense. I think they take a lot of errant shots, and they really rely on Good News to just take everything himself.
Yeah, Mahtomedi playing a very good team game today. Lincoln Rock gets it rejected, gets it right back. He drops it down low, then it's kicked out. Evan Reyes takes a few dribbles. He kicks it out, and Lincoln Rock knocks that one down. As Mahtomedi almost with a 20-point lead, up 19 now at 48-29.
Yeah, I hate to say it, Sam. I think this one's over. That makes 8 for Lincoln Rock.
Yeah, that was a huge bucket. Another turnover from North, but Steckler, good job getting it right back. Spin move, contact, and the bucket.
11 points now for Steckler. He's definitely been showing up today, but I don't know where guys like Bryce Phillips and Gary Dixon are. I haven't remember saying their name in the whole second
Phillips
half.
really not even handling the ball a whole lot here in the second half.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on, Sam. This doesn't look like this North team, looks like they know what they're doing. We saw them start out hot against Tartan. We saw them start out hot against Mahtomedi tonight, and then they kind of just go through the motions. They're not really doing anything. They're taking errant shots.
You almost feel like they thought that they were probably going to lose this game coming into it. Once Mahtomedi got into the lead, they kind of, just gave up on it a little bit.
A great defense there by Good News on the full court press. But I tell you what, Sam, I'm very excited for the Tartan-Mahtomedi game. I know me and you've been talking about that for a long time. And we didn't get to see it the first matchup, but we'll see how good Tartan is, especially going up Jordan Horn this time against Parker Fox. It's going to be one to watch.
Yeah, that should be a great one. Next Friday is when those two get together. That one is at Tartan. Mahtomedi winning the first one, but no Jordan Horn. Fox off the glass, can't get it to go, as that was a tough shot. Steckler nearly loses the ball. Bailed out by Jaquaz Towns. There's a three-pointer from the corner. And Bryce Phillips, as we were just talking about, hadn't called his name a whole lot. That's a big three-pointer, and all of a sudden it's a 13-point game. And we'll have a timeout. 9:21 left to go in the ball game. We'll take a look at a few upcoming broadcasts here on TV19 with that timeout.
Yeah, as we talked about a little earlier, we have a very good basketball game with the Mahtomedi girls basketball, who are led by Emma Grothaus. She has been absolutely amazing this year versus Simley. And then on the 10th, once again, we'll be live for the boys basketball, Tartan versus Mahtomedi. We just talked about how Mahtomedi beat Tartan the first one without Jordan Horn. Then the 21st, we have the girls and boys doubleheader, just like we did last Friday, of North versus Tartan. But this time it's at North, so I think North's going to put up a better fight. They're on their home court.
Yeah, and in terms of the boys, last year North and Tartan split the season series, both teams winning the home game. So Tartan won at home last Friday. And excited to see how North, responds when they're the host.
Yeah, one thing we really haven't talked about much is North is playing their 4th game in a week. Tartan's only playing their 2nd game in a week. So, this North team has to be very tired. I mean, I think I've seen it a little bit from Good News. He's kind of been jogging a little bit up and down the court and just not really looking like himself. And I think that makes a huge difference, to tell you the truth.
Oh, absolutely. That's a good point. We kind of talked about how maybe their body language, they look a little bit down, stuff like that. Kind of forget the fact that this is their 4th game in a week, and that might have just as much to do with it.
Yeah, I know these are some young guys. They got a lot of testosterone, a lot of energy going, but your body can only take so many games. and play so many minutes in a week. 4 games. I know they played basketball tournaments as kids, but this is a lot of basketball in a week that they're not used to.
Parker Fox now gives it away to Voyen. Voyen dribbles it towards the top of the key. And now it's with Lincoln Rock. Rock thought about handing it off to Reyes. Kept it. And I thought it was poked away from Thomas. By Thomas, rather. Foul goes against number 2.
Must have just got a little bit too much arm there, Sam. Looked like good defense, but, you know, from our angle, we can't really see what the refs saw, so he had to get a little bit too much arm.
That's the 4th team foul for North. Here's going to be number 5.
And once again, North's playing defense. Parker Fox has the ball, and 2 North players looked who's guarding. They both looked at each other like, who's guarding Parker Fox? You got to know whose man is whose. You got to step up and not let Parker Fox even get fouled.
And you'd think that number 23, Fox, he'd be the first one you'd account for in terms of your defensive assignment. Say, well, you're going to know right away who's got 23. Because if he gets space, he can do things like that.
Yeah, exactly, Sam. He's one of the best players in the conference. I don't know how that happens, and if you're the North coach, you cannot be happy about that at all.
Yeah, way too easy for 23.
Ooh.
It's Parker Fox up to 15 points now.
Yeah, I don't know. He might have got a little too much arm there. It looked like a pretty chintzy foul to me, Sam.
That is going to be team foul number 6 for Mahtomedi, so 1 more, and North will be in the bonus. Lincoln Rock going to take a seat for the Zephyrs. Shane Frost back in.
Yeah, we saw him use a lot of backups, and North didn't even go on a run. They really needed to. 8 minutes left. Something needs to happen right here.
That was a good move from Good News, as he had a huge size advantage over Evan Reyes, teeing him up, drives lane, and gets the foul.
Oh, yeah, Evan Reyes may be able to make some great interceptions, but he can't guard Good News Capigal, I'll tell you that one.
So 2 shots for number 1 from North.
Yeah, Good News been awfully quiet. I don't know if he has a point here in the second half, to tell you the truth.
8 on the game. Good on the first free throw.
There's 9 right there.
Coming into this one, averaging 21.4, well below his average. So second free throw upcoming. That one no good off. Missed to the left, rebound off to the right, and Evan Reyes brings it down.
Yeah, I honestly think you look at Good News' body language, he just looks exhausted.
Shane Frost doubled up and late foul. That's going to be team foul number 6 on North. So
Sammy,
not winning the bonus yet for Mahtomedi.
Yeah, sorry. You have Shane Frost up at the top of the court. You have 2 guys on him. You know he's going to have to look. He was already making an errant pass, what it appeared to be that he was going to make a pass into coverage. I don't know how you just don't keep your arms up and let him pass the ball.
Exactly. He was already in a world of trouble. Don't bail him out by fouling him. You know, regardless, it's going to be a tough pass for him to get it out of there.
You said it exactly right, Sam. That's what I was trying to say. It's just fouls you can't make.
Right.
That's the difference between the good teams and the bad. We've seen Mahtomedi, you know, they had Parker Fox, but, you know, even he only has 15 points tonight. The rest of the team just steps up and they all do the little things right. The offensive rebound, they get steals, they hustle, they make their free throws.
I think one thing, too, is we've seen this team before, Andy Voyen making the bucket there and getting fouled. We saw this team a little bit earlier in the year. I think also a lot of these players have gotten better. Some of these role players from Mahtomedi, they've continued to get better as the season has progressed. Certainly looking better than when we saw them against Simley.
Oh, exactly right, Sam. This is a very deep team, and I think they're very capable of winning the 3A state title. But let's get back to that play. I thought that was a charge. That was great defense there by North. Looking right at it, we're on the floor level. His feet was planted, and you know they're going to give him the points, I guess.
As we saw all game long, charges that call that this officiating crew is just not going to be making a whole lot.
No, they've been great tonight. There's a lot of, you know, last week I thought the refs were not very good.
Yeah, there's a lot of phantom fouls there.
To say the least. I know Good News was hacked. There's a lot of chintzy fouls that North got that Tartan didn't. But tonight we're seeing the refs call a great game, and, you know, they have no effect on this game. It's been great.
Ross Towns no good on that free throw.
Yeah, I mean, this is a young North team. They lost a lot of guys last year. But they still, most of their players they have are coming back next year. You have Bryce Phillips. You know, Good News is coming back next year. Langford Johnson. So, you know, Langford Johnson's only a 9th grader, and he's starting for this team. So,
yeah, he did quite well. Definitely had some learning to do at the varsity level, but definitely has the athletic ability. And look, 6'3" as a freshman. He's being going to be a very good varsity basketball player.
yeah,
That's something with this North team. Yeah, they might have juniors and seniors out there playing, but majority of these guys, aside from Good News, this is their first year really getting legitimate minutes on varsity. You see Steckler and Bryce Phillips, kind of the other two that have played, and they're, the top other scorers besides Good News. So yeah, once this North team gets a little more experience, I think they'll be very good. It's going to be a bit of a tough
my
year for
Lord,
them.
Sam.
That's the way to go up and get it.
What an oop. Bryce Phillips, it didn't look like that. That looked like that oop was going way too high. Good News showing you athleticism, just throwing it down.
Yeah, I thought that might get away from Good News. But he shows you why he's a bit of a talent. Nice job from the Zephyrs, though, as they get behind the sleeping defense of North again. Andy Voyen with an easy land, and he's up to 11 now.
Yeah, Andy Voyen having a great game today.
3 from the corner is good for North. Bryce Phillips as they're starting to score some points here.
That's 8 now for Phillips. But I tell you what, I think they're putting all their energy on offense, and they're not playing any defense or what resembles any defense right now.
Shane Frost can't quite keep the ball. What hustle, though, to keep it alive and dish it off to Voyen to Tuttle. And that might be a heartbreaker for North. It's great hustle on defense, but all for naught as it falls to Will Tuttle eventually. He knocks it down.
Yeah, it's a 19-point game, Sam. I think at this point it's over. There's really not much you can do. You just play the rest of the game. And I think North's next game that they have is at Sibley, so that should be an easy win. And they get a little break until Tuesday. So I'm sure they're gonna need to rest up, take a couple ice baths, re-get your energy back. And you still get to play Tartan again, and you play Mahtomedi again. You still have a chance to get back into the conference.
Parker Fox got the ball and attacked the basket right away, drawing the foul.
Yeah, you can tell that North is really tired right now. They're getting handsy. They're not playing defense. They're not moving quick enough. They're just slapping at everything.
That's team foul number 8 now against North. So both teams in the bonus. This was a shooting foul, so Fox will go for 2. Short on the first one. Saw North miss a few free throws here this evening. I think another thing, talk about they played 4 games in a week, tired legs there as well.
Oh yeah, that makes a big difference on free throws. That's some great analysis right there, Sam.
I think they're below 50% here tonight from the free throw line. Not a whole lot of opportunities from the charity stripe, but haven't made a whole lot either.
Yeah, Steckler's really stepped up for North today, but nobody else has shown up for them. Bryce Phillips, he's got 8 points. Steckler's got 12. He's having a good game, but I just think the defense for this team is just not where it needs to be, and the depth of this team is not.
Well, I think they kind of haven't done themselves any favors. Their defense has gotten stops, but their offense a lot of times will just turn the ball over right after that, maybe have an empty possession where they don't get a basket, and so you're having to get multiple stops as a defense.
I think you said that exactly right, Sam. Both sides of the court, they haven't stepped up when they've needed to step up.
We kind of saw that with Tartan, against Tartan last week, is that they just didn't. When they got a stop or a turnover, they didn't capitalize on it. Didn't make the most of those opportunities they have. And I think we saw it again here tonight. And that might be the mark of a young team or a team that's played a lot of games.
Oh, Parker Fox, he wanted that dunk. He was going for it.
I think that's a good no call, especially the way the officials have been calling it so far tonight. Keeps it consistent, and that's all you ask. Lonnie Thomas, nice land.
Oh yeah,
we're under 5 minutes to go.
Great no call, Sam.
Lincoln Rock, as the Zephyrs have broken the press. Easy land, gets the kind roll.
Tell you what, kid, I really fell in love with Lincoln Rock's game the last time we called them against Simley, and he's showing you tonight why he's a great player, and he's been around for a while. He's a senior, but he does all the little things right. He dribbles good, he shoots threes, he makes the twos that he needs to make.
Yeah, he was a kid we didn't see get as much time in that Simley game as he's gotten here tonight. Now we'll have a timeout on the floor. I think North took that one. And we're going to tell you about Sports Bath here on TV 19.
Yeah, folks, we're live every other Wednesday, me and Sam, at 7 p.m. on Channel 19. You know, we got highlights, and at halftime we showed you the interviews that we do between Parker Fox and Shane Frost. And also we have some trivia questions and players of the week, so make sure to check out Sports Path live every other Wednesday at 7 p.m.
Yeah, that halftime interview we showed you with Shane Frost and Parker Fox, that was at our Sports Path studios. And you better believe we're going to have highlights of this game, as well as last Friday's doubleheader on our episode of Sports Path coming up this Wednesday.
Oh yeah, Sam, it's going to be a jam-packed show. We always have good stuff for you guys.
Is that the 9th?
That'll
be the 8th.
The 8th.
February 8th. Losing track of the days.
Once again, that's live, but this is our first live game together.
Yeah, it's the first live game. Sports Path, as you just mentioned, good call, live. So those interviews with stars such as Parker Fox live in studio, that's something we've been doing a lot more of. Love to do that. Just had some Mahtomedi hockey players in talking about their experience on Hockey Day Minnesota.
Yeah, they got a great little team going on there, and they all loved, you know, hockey's such a big part of this state, you know.
Yeah, great opportunity for them. Get to play outdoors, get on Fox Sports North, so get some exposure.
That's insane. Fox Sports North in high school.
And Andy Voyen gets it. As Voyen now with 13, and it's a 64-45 advantage for Mahtomedi. Steckler tries to do something with it, too strong off the glass. Frost with the rebound, and he's ready to run.
Yeah,
Dish to Voyen.
With another 2 points. He just said on Twitter that he's going to North Dakota State to play. I'm pretty sure he's going to keep playing wide receiver.
Yeah, play football for sure. Originally committed to Winona State, but then got that offer to North Dakota State, one of the premier FCS schools in the country.
Yeah, that's a big deal, Sam. I don't think people really know how many players don't come out of the Metro East to play Division I AA football, or even that great. Like, a lot of players go D2, but he is going to the perennial powerhouse of North Dakota State.
Yeah, and, you know, felt bad about having to decommit from Winona, but it was just kind of one of those opportunities you can't let go. Had a great senior season, injury-plagued junior year, and I think that really put him back on the map.
Yeah, I think the North Dakota State coach did his homework, and they tend to find players like him from Minnesota. You know, they kind of go under the radar, have great senior years, and then they get offered scholarship, and that's what he did. He's got a huge body. He reminds you like Mike Evans from Tampa Bay. Boxes out the defender, and he goes up and catches the ball for touchdowns.
Yeah, we saw that a lot this fall. Voyen just kind of one-on-one into the corner, throw it up, hope he goes gets it. And usually he was successful. Gonna be a little tougher at the next level, but.
Oh yeah, I think he can do it, Sam. Just definitely watching him this year, and you've seen him improve since his junior year.
He's done a good job running the court here. That's one thing I've noticed about Mahtomedi, especially Shane Frost. They get a defensive rebound, they don't hesitate. They're ready to break the net the other way, and you know they want to get up and run. And I think that speaks to kind of their conditioning as one of the. I think it's probably one of their emphasis.
Oh yeah, Sam. They definitely don't play just up-tempo on offense. They play some tough defense. They're always in there. You know, they really shut down Good News tonight. Good News has only got 9 points, so.
Yeah, uncharacteristic
No.
for number 1 from North. Free throw good to make it 66-47, 3.5 minutes to go.
Yeah, Andy Voyen as a basketball player is definitely the guy that just does everything right. He sets good picks. He moves the ball. He makes great cuts to the basket. He plays tight defense. He's really all you could ask for, and he does it very under the radar. Like, because, you know, Parker Fox gets all the recognition. Shane Frost with his crazy hair gets a bunch of recognition, and he can stroke the ball. But Andy Voyen, I think, is definitely a big part of this team, and he's going to be in order for them to make a state title run in the 3A class.
I'll tell you why this team has been successful also. You look out there right now, 5 seniors on the floor for Mahtomedi, multiple sport athletes, aside from, you know, maybe Parker Fox, who's one heck of a basketball player, so probably give him a pass there. But guys that, you know, play together multiple sports, just have a good IQ for sports and for, you know, playing together as a team, not, you know, trying to do too much, as a lot of times you see in high school sports.
Yeah, I didn't even notice they were all seniors, Sam. That's crazy. They got some great depth. And you know, these guys have been playing together for a long time.
Yeah, I kind of just noticed that when I looked up, and it was like, yeah, no wonder. And they were great possession. They were taking their time. Well, timeout on the floor. We're going to remind you of our social media. Of course, like us on Facebook. Get a lot of links to games we've done, episodes of Sports Path, stuff like that through our Facebook page. Then follow us on Twitter at TV19 Sports, and you can follow John and I individually as well at Sam TV19, at John TV19. So get involved. Let us know what's going on. We're live here tonight. If you're watching, shoot us a tweet. That again is at TV19 Sports, of course. And then you can also do at Sam TV19 and at John TV19.
Yeah, I tell you what, Sam, with our own Twitter accounts, interacting with these high school players, especially Parker Fox, and Good News has been tweeting at us lately. You know, it's a lot of fun, and it's very good to see these guys interact with us. And we kind of get a feel, and we always love to throw some special shout-outs. It's always a good time.
Yeah, I tell you what, it's been a lot of fun as a part of the media to get involved, because it's hard to get a lot of information, especially at the high school level, unless you're really involved with these programs as a parent or a coach or a teacher. But through social media, we're able to kind of get involved with who these players are off the court as well as on the court, what's kind of going on, and that's been great. Like we were just talking about Andy Voyne going to North Dakota State. Found that out through Twitter, that type of stuff. That's been great for content for us, for Sports Path as well. So if you got anything, send it our way at TV19 Sports, at Sam TV19, at John TV19.
Yeah, and you can always make our social media montage. That's our newest segment on Sports Path. I know it's been around for about a month and a half now, but it's a lot of fun. And it's fun to see what's going on around the Metro East and what's going on with our Fab Five schools throughout, gymnastics, wrestling. It's a lot of fun to see how much fun people have with these high school teams.
Yeah, and that's another good point, John, is that it allows us to kind of get some information and coverage on some sports that we might not otherwise get time to get into. And it's not always just about business, just about sports. Sometimes we do some fun things on social media montage. We had the whole Shane Frost hat deal go down.
Oh yeah, that was one of my highlights. That's one of my funnest moments. I saw it and I had to go with it. Shane Frost said I better put that on there. So, just tweet at us and we'll make sure you guys get recognition.
For those of you unfamiliar, it's about Shane Frost losing a hat and kind of gained some steam on Twitter, and eventually the company kind of got wind of it and sent him a brand new hat.
Yeah, that was a great, good feeling story.
A couple changes here for Mahtomedi. Evan Reyes coming back in, as well as number 22, Anthony Pramel, and number 30, Robert Montero.
See, as you were talking about the seniors for this team, Anthony Pramel, the quarterback for the very good Mahtomedi team. They just have guys who are from the football team. Mahtomedi, they've had some great teams in a lot of sports that we've been able to cover, including lacrosse last year. They seem to have some great cohesion on that team, and they have some great cohesion on the girls team, the boys hockey team. It's fun to see how close, this Mahtomedi school is with each other.
Yeah, I think a lot of these kids grow up together, playing youth sports together, and you can kind of see it translate to the when they finally get into high school. We mentioned they got a lot of seniors on this team. They just made some substitutions, got some guys in there, maybe get them some minutes. They're all seniors too.
Yeah.
You got a guy like Anthony Pramel coming in off your bench, doesn't get a whole lot of minutes. Guy's the starting quarterback on a state tournament appearing football team. So, he might not be the best basketball player in the world, but dude's a heck of an athlete and kind of understands how to play sports at the high school level. So
exactly. I know a lot of coaches, even in college football and now, or college sports and high school sports, they're looking to see if you play other sports. That's huge to them, because you don't want to play one sport all year, and I think that was kind of ruining high school sports. A lot of these kids, they play baseball year round. Their arms are wrecked by the time they're a junior in high school.
And I think another thing too is that sports is supposed to be about fun at the youth level. And when kids are forced to kind of just focus on that one sport that, maybe they're the best at, might not even be their favorite to play, they kind of have to keep playing that sport, and it might take a little bit of the fun away from it for them. So kind of good to let everybody, if you can play multiple sports, I say do it. I was always a huge proponent of that.
PJ Fleck, for the new Gophers football coach, said he wants players who play different sports, and he wants you to play them at the D1 level for the Gophers. So
nice land from Luke Madonna. Late substitution for North. We're under a minute to go. Mahtomedi leading it big, 70-49. They're going to pick up another win in the Metro East, continue to be undefeated at 9-0.
Yeah, Robert Montero, the center for Mahtomedi, the senior, he's got his own fat head here in the crowd. He doesn't even play. It goes to show you how much support even the guys who don't play have. It's not all about Parker Fox, Shane Frost. It's about this whole team.
Yeah, students coming out in full force for Mahtomedi. Had fat head pictures of about every player on the team. Signs for everybody. It's under 10 seconds now here left to go in the game.
Yeah, we saw just the city's great overall as well. You know, with the team Emmy Day, just wanted to throw that in there before the end of the game. Mahtomedi is just a great game, and they're a heck of a team, and they have a real shot at the Section 3A title.
You got that right. Well, they'll remain undefeated in the Metro East. North St. Paul is going to fall to 7-2. Your final 70-49. Mahtomedi wins it big. Well, for everyone here at TV19 Sports, I'm Sam Erickson. He's John Miller. We want to thank you for watching this live presentation of high school basketball. We will catch you next time.